Well, it's a case we've been following since the news of it broke nearly 15 years ago. 3 Michigan boys gone and never found. Their father is still in prison in connection to their disappearance. Yesterday, the case was back in the courtroom. Our Melissa Andrews spent hours listening to the investigators on this case. She joins us now. Yesterday, Mel, the whole hearing was to say that these boys are dead.
Yes. Tanya Zuvers, the boy's mom, thinks it's time to, she said, pay them the respect of acknowledging that we know you're not alive, we know you're not coming home, there's no evidence that they're dead. She'd like to get them a death certificate and a date of death on their headstone. So this for her is closure.
And I just can't even imagine how she has been feeling these last almost 15 years. The father of the boys, John, right? He has said that they aren't dead, that he gave them to a group of people.
Well, it was really interesting because yesterday, I mean, I think that this hearing, it played out kind of like a murder trial. There was tons of evidence that was revealed. You know, he said that he gave them to Joanne Taylor. Well, they revealed that on his laptop was evidence that he created Joanne Taylor, an email address for her from the same IP address as his home. And then went to the step of communicating with Tanya Zuvers in the weeks leading up to the boy's disappearance under the name of Joanne Taylor in a cafe mom. You know, back in those days in the 2010s, that was big to do blogging and moms talk to moms. So actually communicated with his wife under a false name. She says most of this really started because John wanted to move the family to Florida and she did not. So one day, about 2 months before the disappearance in September, he decides to go to the school and pull the boys out and say, we're going to Florida. So the school calls her, she stops it, they go to the house, and then the next thing you know, he takes off to Florida with the 2 kids out of the 3.
Wow, so there's a lot of information that we're getting pieces of this now.
Yeah, one of the main things too is that, you know, all the investigators agreed that they are 100% sure that these boys are dead and that John Skelton killed them on or around November 26th. One of the really dark parts was when they described the home, when they executed the search warrant looking for the boys. They said everything was smashed. There were roses attached to the walls, one basically saying this is the first rose I ever gave you and this is the last rose. All kinds of dishes were smashed, cords that went into the walls, like, you know, cable cords or things that you plug in were all cut, basically wanting to take away every single thing that Tanya had in her life, including the boys. He also left her a very disturbing letter, and I have some sound from that.
It was addressed, Dear Tanya, love John. Certain parts of the note that we learned from the investigation read, you need to be strong now. Sorry I hurt you yet again. This time it was on purpose and to kill my pain of losing you. I had no one here. It continues, I guess my actions today will guarantee you won't have to see me again or in heaven. I pray God will forgive me, but I know it won't happen. May you find peace in the days to come. You will hate me forever, and I know this.
What was he saying?
Tanya, I killed the boys.
Wow.
Yeah, so he said a lot of things that also to his pastor that made everybody say, okay, you're saying that these boys are dead. Unfortunately, John Skelton is the only person that has that answer where those boys are.
And for Tanya, this has just been tearing her apart for almost 15 years. Now, he's in jail right now, but on unlawful imprisonment charges,
Yeah, that's right. For some reason, back then, they didn't feel they had enough evidence. I do believe that they will charge him with murder before he gets out in November on those other charges. Multiple investigators have told me they have enough evidence to charge him with murder, and they felt like, why do it prematurely? You only get one crack at the ball when you charge someone with murder. So I believe we could see that happen if the judge rules that the boys are dead tomorrow. I believe we can see that happen anywhere from tomorrow until November when he gets out of prison.
So of course you're going to be keeping tabs on that and watching those court documents, and you'll be in court tomorrow.
Tomorrow is we expect the judge to come back tomorrow morning with a decision. She wanted to do it quickly because everybody's been waiting for this. And I also want to let you know, if you missed it yesterday, I talked to our digital director, and she said we have the entire Skelton hearing, in case you missed it, on WTOL 11 Plus, an article, a timeline with all the major players who testified yesterday. Also on WTOL 11 News on Plus, we have a breakdown and analysis of both the Skelton case and another big one that you guys have been talking about, the Chet Esther case, as well as the entire first day of the Chet Esther trial.
Yeah, a lot happening in court, specifically in Michigan.
In Michigan, yeah,
right
three
now.
big cases.
But we
really.
are on top of these cases and bringing you all of that new information just as soon as we get it. So download the WTOL 11 Plus app on your TV. You can watch that for free. Get yourself caught up, and then we will wait and see what happens.
I think you're
tomorrow.
doing the noon for me again tomorrow,
I am.
so I can
yeah,
go cover
so that
this
you could
case.
be there. Yeah, so we'll have that. We'll have those updates for you tomorrow. Thanks, Mel. We appreciate it.